right, Grinks. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so the full moon energies are usually I don't do a full moon thing, but apparently I'm getting affected by it with those around me and things like that. So it's like, yeah, even before it, yeah, I've had some, I guess some clearing, I guess. So anyway, and Priscilla's here again. Oh, she was here. So yeah, Mars energy release, also Aztec energy. I just kept getting Aztecs. Doesn't mean I'm releasing that, but I feel like there's some. And it definitely has a lot of Martian energy there. So, and of course, I'm not one to connect to the Aztecs very often. So I should say something about that. Well, they brought a lot of the rituals here. Not all of them, but quite a few. The abuse, also physical abuse energies comes from there. Not entirely there, but they contributed a little bit, maybe a lot. So there's that. Just a lot of programming of humanity came through there. Let's put it that way, in some form or another. So, of course, yeah, the Mayan calendar. Of course, that's healing energy. Of course, some of us say it's the end of the world, but also end of a timeline, dawn of a new age. Energy. What happened back in 2011, 2012. So, and now here we are in Cult Leader Central. Lucky us. There's some cult leaders that are definitely demonic beings. I'm not going to say who they are, but they're arrogant. They're having a blast here. And it's just amazing how many people suck it up. It's like, okay, it's all yours. I've even been attacked by at least one of them, that's for sure. I'm not going to go into that one. Yeah, as arrogant as you can get, like just as arrogant as just, and people are just sucking it all up. It's like it's pretty. I don't know. It's not something I pay attention to, but it's whatever works for you, right? So I guess everyone needs some kind of entertainment. More power to you on that one. All right, so come on. Horizontal Total Comic Pro Sessions. We have the scheduler, we have the shop here, something like that. Okay. All right, I'm downscaling a lot and downscaling as much as I like to, but more is on the way. More downscaling eventually. Not as soon as I'd like it to, though. Also, so the full moon frequency, I also picked up on, this is yesterday, wolf energy. So, the wolves are out. And, of course, those that are easygoing and easy to manipulate, they're out for the festivities. Those are in the victim mode. Well, more power to you on that one. So, lovely. So let's see, other full moon energy. Yeah, this Mars frequency. It is a release for those that are here to release it. Of course, others are embracing it and adding it to their timeline, while others are releasing it. That those are adding it to their timeline are those are the ones being wolfed right now, or being attacked by wolves. So the easy prey that's out there, politicians do that shit all the time. So U.S. is definitely kind of a crippled energy right now, but whatever. We'll just do what we can. It is kind of dying in a lot of ways, but it's growth. I mean, it's not going to die completely. It's still going to be here in some form or another. Aztec frequencies, but just violent energies, obviously, from that time period. Galactic, and just they took this world to town, basically. They're still burying into the ground, that's for sure. Still working. A lot of it's in, which makes sense, Brazil is getting hit by a lot of the Aztec frequencies. The U.S. we have the politicians, so, and of course you have the lazy people here too, so they're just allowing it. So, victimhood, we got a lot of victims here, a lot of victim mentality, and that's not wanting to take responsibility for themselves, things like that. So in Europe is still healing. So of course that's why they have the culture like that, just kind of a take it easy, healing. Not all of it's like that, but quite a bit of it is just to heal from the wars of the past. So and the U.S. is not done with this war with itself yet. So all right, connect to the just full moon frequencies or astral energy. Maybe just connect to the astral energies, just to make it a little bit more neutral because the moon is kind of a tricky frequency. And Mars is Mars. Mars is a pain in the ass, also. So, yeah, you definitely look in society, you definitely see a lot of Martian frequency here. Of course, those that don't want to see it or don't want to live it or whatever, it's going to affect you anyway, especially like with nature. Yeah, Mars is just like a tricky, just they just like to pollute everything. It's a toxic nature of itself, but it's a challenger. So we're to overcome that. Hopefully, some of us are. Others are just going to live in bliss and just whatever. Grass is greener, I guess. There. So we're going to astral frequencies, just and as for Aztec energy, I might do another astral for that one too, because Aztecs have some issues themselves. Yeah, they're not quite healed, obviously. No, of course, a lot of it's in Mexico. Of course, not all of it. It's funny. I do feel like a lot of it's in Brazil, that's kind of a war zone to some level. So, all right, okay, all right. Connect to the full moon frequencies. All right, blessings. Here we go. Greens is astral. Blessings. The moon energies, yes, it's releasing what the shadow within your timeline. For some, others are going into their shadow. And so, yeah, accidents, whatever it might be, pulling in the wrong people, and so on. So it has it's different operations going on. So those of you that want to release will release. Those of that don't want to release anything, want to have more drama, karma, you can definitely receive it. And it will more than just deliver. It will be with you for a very long time. This moon is a very different frequency. It has to do with the agendas of this year. Just as you can see, some of it is political, not all of it. Some of it is also, of course, a lot of it is spiritual. There's a lot of magic going on. It's just, a lot of those. There's many that here that are evolving out of the abyss of being programmed, and you're being challenged at a certain level, but there's also just the ideas to keep humanity shut down as much as possible. So they're going to go through a lot of tests, of course. What's new there? There's nothing ever new there. But those of you that need to evolve and will continue, this is going to be kind of a heavy moon cycle. Doesn't mean you'll have challenges. You might. Realizations, open up, downloads, whatever it might be. Your astral sleep time might be kind of violent. Depends. That's not necessarily a negative. It's also, once again, a release. So it's just a timeline of new beginnings. Basically, it's kind of like clearing yourself out for something new to occur. Normally, it would be of a positive experience, whatever it might be, but you have to clear it out to get there. So, and some have been doing clearings before this, but this can be a major one. Everyone's different, as you can see. But those that need a test, doesn't mean it'll happen on this day, but it does as entry port for, yes, more strange to come. Let's put it this way: those who've accepted, like, rejected timelines to evolve are going. Yeah, they're very kind of set their future, and those of you a lot more to evolve, more of that will continue and actually come back to you in a more positive energy. Yes, might be some challenges. Of course, that's always going to be some kind of form of challenge, but also the idea is to go to the next level of evolution, actually. And there are others that are, yes, living in bliss and just live in their energy of positivity, and not always ready to see their shadow. And that is fine also. Sometimes it's better just to wall that off and just live in the garden of peacefulness. Nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean there won't be a shadow experience sometime in the future incarnation somewhere. Sometimes you just lay it down for now. But those that need to make a choice, a major choice, a life choice, it could either happen. Yeah, it can definitely happen after this moon cycle, or the day of it. It all depends. Or you already made it before. You just finally bring it into your physical. So it's basically, yeah, and the Martian frequencies that are here, yes, massive trickster energies open up the lower dimensions. They open the lower dimensions on their planet also. And they do that everywhere they go. Think about Martians invading a planet, and the first thing they do is open up the darker dimensions, so it makes their job easier. Of course, that devours them too, because they can attack them also, but still, they still implement their counterattack on the planet. So you're getting some understanding of it. Those of you, see, not everybody wants to know all these things. So they go off into their blissful reality. But those of you that need to know, well, it's just nice to know, because basically bringing this knowledge to humanity to end a lot of these dark timelines, actually. Well, it's like, how the magician, how the trick works, then you don't be tricked. So that's what a lot of this is about. And this awakening, you can say, that's happening. Of course, it's been going on for thousands of years, but you have the internet, it's a different world. But those that want to be tricked or need to be tricked, or they're not ready to take responsibility for themselves. There are groups that will take care of them and just sit there and they're not going to be in anybody's way. Let's put it that way. But those of you who are here to actually open up these realms, of knowledge, yeah, it's not easy. There's also agreements to unlock a lot of these. Basically, understanding the lower dimensions, also the higher dimensions. Basically, it's knowing both. And it's a rough road there, as some of you might notice. So, blessings. Greasy with astral knowledge, Akashic, neutral energies. The Aztec, yes, planted many timelines here of violence, but also of, yes, knowing about oneself during different circumstances to bring in certain scenarios, even like a police force that's not there to police, actually to continue the violence, as some of you have noticed. Not always. And yes, that's a tough job, to be the one that's actually peaceful when you're around those that are not peaceful. So, and yes, a lot of agendas here that have to be healed, of course. The world's not ready for all its truths, as you know. Some of you can receive it, but the rest of the world is going to reject it. Its ancient self, its connection to the animals, the spirit realms. Most of the world just closes its ears. It goes blind. So even with, some of you that even want to share your knowledge, you sometimes automatically, it's cryptic. It's like, even you try to share it, there's not that many of you know about how the world works. You might know it on a subconscious level, on an unconscious level. But the world is not always ready for these things, as some of you know. But either way, and that's one of the difficulties of carrying around information that you just can't share, or even verbally. You can do it energy-wise, but verbally is difficult, even if it's cryptic. So, but yeah, there's also, you can cryptic 2 or 3 times. We can put 3 locks on what you're trying to say. Yeah, and that way nobody understands what you're talking about. It can also come off as a joke too. So, But the Aztec frequency, basically, the Aztecs, you can say, were taken over during their time by other galactic beings that implement that their own issues went into it, not just reptilian, but just galactics in general. Just brought all their problems. They incarnated there and just they went through their darkness there, and some of it, their criminal elements are still across your planet. That will be exposed eventually, but once again, many souls need to experience that. They need to, it still hasn't, you know, there's many that just haven't quite come to themselves yet, so that they have to go through this just because. So why some of you feel like you're here to, like sometimes you wonder why you are here. Some of you probably asked that question many times. There's different reasons. Sometimes it's not always going to make itself clear, but part of it is also like kind of like to see this out, see this awakening out. No matter how much backlash you get, you're not feel that you're that significant, whatever it might be. You're assisting this agenda to, the awakening agenda, depending on whatever word you want to use. But basically, you're seeking it out because some are still kind of healing from their galactic incarnations, if you noticed, and can't seem to free themselves from it. But really, the long haul idea is to basically seed the earth of knowledge that will truly open itself up. Like, a different type of world, not necessarily a new earth, but a world that becomes more mature with its knowledge of itself. Instead of this new earth energies that, it's almost like it's new, but have you learned from the past at all? Earth maturity is probably a better word for it. Instead of just like a teenager world, the idea is to go into a more mature world. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean you can't have childlike energies. Just ideas for the world to be more mature to handle what it is. As many of you are doing that now. Like you're taking on maturity levels where others can't, or just never will, or refuse to grow up. There's a lot of that happening. Doesn't mean half of society is like, no, it's just like there are those, it's like, you're here to bring the baton, your knowledge to share with others, and others are like, no, I just want to be a child still, so never mind. And it's like a recruitment, you can say. Some of you might, we're talking cryptic here, but like you're here to share your knowledge with others, those are around you, and some are rejecting it, throw it back at you, let's put it that way. And you'd be surprised, like kind of like a recruitment, but basically to, not in the traditional sense, but they can, connect more to their higher being and mature and bring in this new version of Earth that's coming in, or more mature Earth. And others, many are just not willing to take. Well, because it's not exactly an easy task either. Some of you notice that. You're not loved by everybody. So that's another thing. Yeah, some are just, it's like, but I have these people that like me, and if I do this, they won't like me anymore. So that's another reason why. That's kind of a sad excuse. But eventually, they can also be put back in that position eventually. It's like, now it's time for you to connect more to why you're here, and that's more of just mature energies that's being brought into the earth. So basically, your earth's going to slowly into a spiritual maturity level. As some of you are already there, and yes, not easy, and others are still not in for the long haul, as some of you notice. So.